What's up guys, Bluddshed here. Today we're going to talk all about engravings, give you some nice tips and tricks on how to take advantage of them, what they are. You know I'm going to do it in the Bluddshed way and make it as easy and as smooth as possible. Before we get started, I do have a Lost Ark section on my website where I post all these videos and much more things, so feel free to check it out if you want to see the latest and greatest on Lost Ark. And a like on the video is always appreciated. It helps the video grow tremendously. It keeps me going to make more videos like this. Let's start off with what exactly are engravings? Well, you can find engravings from your character sheet. Right here, there's a little tab that says engravings, okay? Engravings are legendary powers that you can achieve once you have a certain number of points in them. The higher the number of points, the stronger the affix, the legendary power. So you can see I have level 1 highlighted here. If I were to put more points in Grudge, you can see it, right? It's the little description right here. As I would put more points into Grudge, I would hit level 2, and then now I would do 10% damage. But then I would take 20% more damage from enemy attacks. So engravings are like points that you can get on your character to get these powers, okay? One commonly run strat is to take 2 max level engravings and then try to get whatever you can in level 1. So you go like level 3, and then whatever level 1s you can fit in. As you go up to level 3, you would imagine you would get really powerful gear, but you have to refer to each individual build guide for the exact thing. I am gonna cover popular engravings, I'm gonna cover how to get them, tips and tricks, quests, all that stuff. And remember, this is based on T1, right? T1, which is the first phase of content, which is what we're getting on NA-EU launch. So anything we're talking about here is mostly just for the NA-EU bros. If you're playing on Russia or Korea, you're already way far ahead. This is a different game. Okay, so engravings are points that unlock legendary powers for your character. How do we get these points, Blood? Well, it actually shows you right here really easily. You can get, in T1, you can get 3 points per piece of jewelry. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and then you can get a lot of points, a lot of engraving points on your ability stone. But we're gonna cover this later because it's a whole different beast. So equipment is on the right side, you can get your engravings from. You can see it comes with 2 positive effects and a negative effect. So just like you put more points into the positive effect, you get a positive bonus. All these extra points can be a negative bonus as well. So we go back to engravings and we scroll down and you can see I'm 2 points away from getting a negative slowness perk here, and that would reduce my movement speed by 2%. So I don't want that. So I have to be mindful of what secondary effects are on the gear. So there is some kind of Diablo PoE aspect to it where you're finding better gear, and then you can actually transfer your item level to the new piece of jewelry, so you don't have to like re-level the item. Always keep an eye out for those good rings and jewelry that you need to complete your build, right? So it's good to kind of plan ahead of time of what you're gonna build into so you know what to look for. And we're gonna cover some of the most popular engravings and all that stuff in the video. The second way to unlock engraving points on your character is through books and nodes. So these are the books. You can get them a variety of ways. We'll cover that in a minute. I want to talk about how the system works because this could be complicated. You learn 20 green books and then you unlock the tier 1 ability. If you're looking at Ether Boy right here, it says activates 3 engraving points. So once you put 20 books, you get 3 engraving points on your character. So I'm going to grab it and drag it over here. We have 2 empty slots. Boom, and then we go to engravings, and now Ether Boy has those 3 points. So now if I finagle my jewelry a little bit, I can get Ether Boy level 1, right? If I were to drop a 1 cursed doll maybe, and then drop these vital attacks, I can kind of rearrange my jewelry to get a tier 1 Ether Boy ability. These nodes can level up 3 times, right? So 20 green books right here will get you to the blue tier, tier 2. And then once you get to tier 2, you get 6 points. So I'm gonna hover over Grudge because I have Grudge in tier 2 right now. Activate 6 very good engraving points. So as you go up in tiers, it goes up by 3, 3, 6, 9. So I don't have any Grudge anywhere. I have it at tier 2. I'm just gonna drag it, drop it here, boom, and then now it'll show up as points. And if I had Grudge on my jewelry like we talked about, or ability stones, which we'll get into later, it can give me more and more points and I can hit that level 3 cap a lot easier. You get tier 1 engraving books to unlock the nodes from different places in the game, and then you get tier 2 engraving books to to unlock the nodes in different places in the game. Literally, if you just play the game, do quests, you'll get these kind of books. One way to get engraving books is by doing chaos dungeons, right? You're gonna do about 2 chaos dungeons dailies anyway, and you can see there's an engraving sketch here, an engraving book here. So your first 2 a day, you're gonna get these books, and they're random. So you could put them on the auction house, you can sell them, you know, you can, whatever you got to do. Early on when NAEU launches, the auction house is going to be empty. So it's going to be hard to just buy things, or they're going to be super overpriced. But later on, as the economy matures, you should be able to just buy them off the auction house. So the auction house would be another way to get these engraving books that drop in the world. Once you do your 2 dailies for chaos dungeons, you don't get these bonus rewards anymore, but you still get this currency called cataclysm crystals. And you can head down to a chaos dungeon vendor. They're literally called chaos dungeon exchanger. They're usually right next to the dungeon. And you can literally grind out your first 20 engraving books by just doing chaos dungeons over and over and over. Doing Northburn level 4 after my 2 dailies. So on the 3rd run, 4th run, 5th run, 6th run, level 4 Northburn, which is, you know, T1 content, I was getting about 200 currency per run. And on my other character, I was doing Rohendale, which will be unlocked on NAEU launch 4, I was getting 250. So the higher you go, you actually do get more currency per run. So I usually get like 250 per run, which is almost like 1 run and you get a bag, right? So you can sit there and grind out your first 20. This is Legacy. I'm assuming this is gonna be here on launch. If it's not here, just disregard this part of the video. But yeah, you can just blast and get these 20, and then you can get Grudge, which is the best engraving. We're gonna go over some popular engravings at the end of the video. But yeah, you can just blast this. This is an easy way to just grind out, get your first 20 books, and get going, just to have something. Another way to get engravings is to do these Guardian raids, right? They have seal books here, so you can do them. You get 2 per day. You can see there's like little circles here. Once you do 1, it fills. So you get 2 bonus runs a day where you get these bonus rewards. So this is why it's important to kind of have a daily cheat sheet, which we're gonna have a video in the future of, a daily checklist to go through and do all your dailies so you get the things you need to get. You can also get engraving books through void dungeons, as you can see right here. And then you can get some really powerful class engravings on jewelry, which reminds me, not only are there engravings for, these are like general engravings for everybody. There's actually class-specific engravings that completely change how your character performs. The duration of summoning is increased by 20% and their damage by 10%. So this is more like a summoner spec. So you can kind of like have like a little ascendancy build here by picking a certain thing to specialize in. Ancient spirit summoning skills cost 1 less wisdom, so then the damage is increased. So your identity skills would be buffed with senior summoner here. So every class has these 2 engravings, and some of them are really cool, like you can go perma-demon form and all that kind of thing. If you're thirsty for engravings, I also found another way. If you go to the Land of Shooting Star Island, it's southwest of Anik, or right here, you can see right here on the map. All you do is run around, pick up these little shooting stars on the ground, and you get currency, and then there's a vendor, like a weekly vendor, that you can turn them in for different engravings. I feel like nobody talks about this one because maybe they're on mature servers and they're not thirsty for engravings because they can just buy them off the auction house. You know, it's a lot easier. They've been playing for 2 or 3 years, right? But it says Legacy Weekly 2 and then Legacy 4 out of 5. So with 60, so you run around and collect 60 of these shining shards, and you can pick books. And a lot of times, most of the time when you get these rewards, you can pick exactly which one you want. So I think I have one in my inventory I saved for you guys. Whoops. So when you right click it, you can pick exactly which one. Like I've been trying to unlock adrenaline, right? So I'm gonna scroll down and look for adrenaline, and there it is, and then collect it, boom. And then you just right click the book. If you so I have 10 right here. If you right click it, you can learn all 10 at once, and that'll save you some time. Also at the vendor, you can get level 2 engravings with the shining star shards. Now these ones have a chance to drop when you pick up the basic one. So it's just like when you're going through here and you get a basic one, sometimes it'll be the super shining one, and you'll know because you'll get like it'll make a sound effect and then you'll see it. So shining shard. The final way to unlock engraving points is with those ability stones that we talked about here. And they come in different types and different varieties. You can get, you know, the basic ones, you can get legendaries, you can get epics. So epic should be before legendary here like this. And then you can get artifact ones. There's places in the world you can get them in various methods, but yeah, so you can see it even tells you ability stones can get max 10. So you can get 10 grudge points here, 10 master's potential, but you could also get 10 rust, which is the negative effect we talked about, right? Or slowness. Typically you're going to be working with legendaries, I believe. You can get up to max 9, and that's almost impossible to get, right? So you can buy these in the auction house, you can get them from chaos dungeons, guardian raids, just like you can in the books, by questing around the world. But typically chaos dungeons are going to get those a couple a day, or the auction house once it matures. So you take your ability stone to an ability stonesmith. If you're ever lost in town for anything, you know, where's the chaos? Just CHAOS. Chaos Dungeon Exchanger, boom, right there, right? If you're ever lost, and then you go Ability Stonesmith, and then it highlights it on the map, right? Because every town is laid out differently, and there's a lot of crap, right? They're everywhere. Just search it, save yourself the stress. Go to the Ability Stonesmith, and let's pick on a legendary one here that we want. Grudge, perfect. So the way this works is it says positive bonus, which means there's a 75% chance it can be positive, because you can actually get a point or you can get no points. And then you need to put some points in the negative effect also. So when the probability is high, we're going to put it in the positive. And when the probability gets low, we're going to put it in the negative. And that's pretty much how the system works. It's really simple. I guess it's fun too, RNG right here. So I have a 75% chance for grudge. I'm going to click it. Boom. And we landed it. So now it's down to 65%. I'm gonna go back to grudge because 65 is pretty good odds. Boom. And now it's 55. Technically 55 is still a winning number in Vegas, right? I'll take it. And we lost it. See, now we didn't get it. We're back up to 65 because we failed the previous one. I'm gonna go for it again. Boom, 55. I think I'm gonna take it. Boom, 45. So now it's less than 50% chance we're gonna win. I'm gonna go down here, and we got a slowness point. Oof. Now the chance of us getting another one's 35. I'm gonna do it again, and cool. So that you want nothing on these nodes, and you want something on these nodes, right? So 45. You know, it's less than 50. We'll take it. Nice. So now there's a 55 chance we can get something. I don't want to put it here, so maybe I go back to grudge. Or maybe we go to mass increase. We're gonna go for grudge. We didn't get it. It's up to 65. You can kind of see how it goes here, right? 55, 65. The highest you can get is 75% probability. Maybe it's better to bounce around between the two in case you do fail. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 grudge points. And that's gonna take us really far, right, from what we had previously. We have to finish this out, so I'm gonna go same concept up here. So you can see getting like a +9 grudge would be almost impossible. We'd have to have the luck of the gods to get that, right? And then the artifact can be 10 and 10. So in theory, you could have 9, 9 or 10, 10 points here. Let's confirm it. We take our new ability stone with grudge on it. We put it on our character here. Boom. And then now our engraving for grudge went almost to max level. 15 is the cap, right? 5, 10, 15. We almost got level 3 now. So just with a few different jewelry pieces, we should be able to get that top tier grudge ability. It's the best one in the game. You do 20% more damage, but you take 20% more damage from their attacks. In the process, we did pick up a negative perk of slowness, so we do have 2% less movement speed. So then I would go through, look for a slowness one, and then maybe switch out my jewelry, right? If I were to get a different piece of jewelry, and then I would lose that negative slowness perk right there. So it's a game of balance, and it's pretty interesting. It's simple but fun, and I like it. So Blood, how do I know what engravings to look for? Okay, so this is gonna be dependent on the build. So if you're looking up somebody's build online, they're gonna have a specific set of things, or if you make your own build, right? So it's hard to just recommend legendary powers for everybody. But I will talk about some of the more popular ones, right? Maybe I'll do like a mini tier list. And again, don't take this so literal. This is just to give you guys something. So if you don't feel like looking up a build, you just want to play Lost Ark, you're watching this on launch day or the day before, this will give you an idea, right? Every build in T1 should have Grudge. A Grudge is, like we talked about, it's just 20% more damage. It's insane power, right? That's gonna be like S tier, the only S tier legendary power. Let me actually bring it up as I talk about it. This is pretty much what you wanna focus on, right? Above all else, unless you're following a guide, you know, there's like a madness engraving that berserkers might get that's just really good, right? So this is a general section. I have to just put it out there. In the A tier, I would put Sharp Blunt. Critical damage is increased by 10%, but with a certain probability, attacks can do 20% less damage. I feel like Sharp Blunt is really, really good and worth the trade-off. You'll notice if it's a strong perk, if it has a negative effect to it, because it has like, it's like a trade-off mechanic, right? Because not all of them have negative effects to it, as you'll find out here. I would also put Cursed Doll in the A tier. The hero's attack power is increased by 3% for tier 1, but the healing is reduced. So you get just flat more attack power, but you have lower healing. So Cursed Doll is insanely good, and that's one thing I would maybe look for also. Spirit Absorption, attack and movement speed is increased by up to 15%, just flat increases. I would put this in A tier. I like this one a lot. It's just positive effects, right? And it can't hurt at all. So I would try to maybe get that if possible. The next tier is going to be called situational tier because it really depends on like situations, right? So I like Adrenaline. When using skills, the attack power is increased. So you have to have like your spells up all the time. So like a gunslinger has like infinite abilities, right? So this would be super sick on a class that could attack really fast. But a class with high cooldowns, the buff's gonna fall off. So because you have to keep it up, right? To keep stacking it higher and higher. So Adrenaline, amazing, but situational. You can even just go to a tier 1 ability to get the buff, just to have a little something something on it. Ignore the Weak would also be situational. The hero deals up to 36% more damage to enemies who has health less than 30%. So this is like an execution type ability, right? Again, like if it's on a certain situation, you're gonna do that super good damage. Blitz Commander, the hero's damage is additionally increased by 10% of the bonus movement speed. So this is dope, but for classes that have movement speed, like you could say Berserker or Blade are gonna take advantage of this more. So not everybody has like all these crazy movement speed buffs. You might be able to spec into it. Like I think the Summoner has a movement speed buff with her shield. You know, so you have to kind of maybe look into it. It's more of like a situational type of ability. And I like Thunder Fury, but the situation for this is you have to be melee to be up close, or you just have to be up close in general. Each time you hit, you have a 60% chance to create an aura of lightning. There's a few different aura effects like Ether Boy. You know, you have to be close for it to work. So situationally, you have to be close. You might not always want to be close to a boss. Like Backstabbing Master is insanely good. Backstabs increase damage by additional 25%. But you have to have a backstab ability, you know, on your character, like Blade has one, for instance, right? So you have to have a specific thing for it to work, whereas the A tier, everybody gets the effect, and the S tier, everybody gets the effect. If you guys like anything else, feel free to put them in the comments below. People will probably troll the comments and get some other examples. But those will get you going. If you have these ones, if you have like S and A tier, and you know, if you can fit the criteria of the situational ones, you'll be okay, right? This is just to get you on the road and get you going if you don't want to look up any character guides. But I always recommend you look up someone's guide because they're gonna have everything min-max perfectly. And that is it. Man, I thought this was gonna be another quick video, but this just, they take so long. Lost Ark videos are so in-depth. Remember, a like on the video would be super appreciated, and I stream all the time, twitch.tv/bloodshed, and we got that website on top of the screen, bloodshed.com, where I post all these videos. I'm gonna have starter guides and all that stuff before the game goes live. I've just been going through general guides like engravings, because people ask questions on stream, so it's nice to have somewhere to direct them that I know is specifically designed for tier 1. But that's gonna be all for me today. This is Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.